Welcome to Glitch Please, where we talk about video games. I'm Ashley.
I'm Gus.
I'm Adam.
I'm Ryan.
And this episode, full disclosure, is super pre-recorded.
We totally didn't just tape the previous episode.
And we definitely didn't just change shirts to make it look like that wasn't the case.
Yeah, my shirt's different if you can't tell it has words on it.
This shirt was in my car.
This shirt was on my desk.
This shirt was in my purse.
And it was in the Rusty store briefly, but I guess not anymore.
No.
Limited editions. So this is holiday break. The studio shuts down for this week, and we're all playing kinds of crazy games.
Are we closed all this week?
Not really, but no one shows up.
No, but yes.
On a day when the entire tech department can just leave and no one notices, we're basically shut down.
Yeah.
I notice.
Yeah, I know you do.
You guys are going to be here? Broadcast Studio is going to be here. They will be the only ones, and they will be using puppets for all the shows.
Nice.
I don't know if I'm supposed to come in next week. I guess I'll find out.
So this episode is going to run a little bit differently because we are pre-recording. We can't talk about news quite so much, but you know what I think we can talk about is intention. Normally we'll talk about like what we're playing and so on.
In the future.
But let's talk about what are you gonna play over the break.
Oh boy.
This is like one of those great periods of the year where if you do have a break or if you're not sure if you're gonna come into work, what you do is you just play video games and pretend it's work.
I wish that was what I get to do. No, it's
Why don't you just come into work anyway and play video games?
That's basically, if I want to play video games, that'll be the what I have to do. Because no, my kid's school is closed all next week. So I think at the very least, for sure, Wednesday I'll have to play Dad Simulator.
So you got a co-op partner.
It's sometimes, sometimes mainly on some days my co-op partner has to also go to work. So it's just me and the minions.
I mean, you can train them.
Yeah.
Well, no, Eli's already way into playing video games and is constantly trying to pull me into playing Lego, like Lego Star Wars, Lego Superheroes 2 that just came out. Yeah,
That's nice.
it is. I mean, for a while,
That's very nice.
he's very good at them.
Do you have to play the same ones over and over though?
That's where it gets to.
Got
It's
it.
like, all right, we're gonna play that level again, huh?
Kids don't.
All right.
Kids don't have that. They don't have a problem with repetition.
Right.
I played the same games for like years at a time.
Yeah.
My sister, this is like not video game related, but my sister watched The Little Mermaid every day. It was every day for months. And then she did it again with Lion King. And to this day, in spite of enjoying both of those movies, I just can't watch them.
Really?
There's something, they'll
burned into
come
you.
on, and it is just, I have now that Pavlovian response where I will just get super irritated.
It's the exact same with me. If I have to watch The Little Mermaid or if I hear any Wilson Phillips song, I'm like, no.
That's so funny. I'm gonna start playing a little bit.
cannot.
I mean, I don't know. I grew up watching the same movies over and over. Like I can't tell you how many times I watched Star Wars, and Shrek was like one that I watched every night for a good year.
Oh yeah, look, I'm
You
a
watched
total
Shrek when you were
hypocrite. I
young?
can watch
Yeah.
Spaceballs anytime.
Spaceballs is great.
It's just that those weren't my choices to watch, and I had to watch them.
Got it.
They were on. They were part of my life every single day. Some people did this with Pirates of the Caribbean. So
really
this
good.
is very serious issues.
I guess that's why I hate musicals. My sister used to watch The Sound of Music, and I fucking hate musicals now. Except Moana. That one's all right.
The thing is, he likes to play the Force Awakens Star Wars Lego game a lot too, but I can't get him to watch the movie.
Why?
He doesn't want to
Because it's
watch
not made out of Lego. I don't want to watch it.
Doesn't want to watch it. I can't get him to watch Star Wars at all. He already knows the Darth Vader being Luke's dad. Totally.
Give him a controller and see if
already.
he'll play the movie.
Has he
too
watched
savvy
the
for
Lego
that.
movie?
Yeah.
No,
What?
kid won't watch movies. He'll watch Ben 10.
Let's spend 10.
It's a cartoon.
All right.
And Teen Titans Go, which I've heard is just the sad after leavings of Teen Titans.
So you're going to be playing lots of Lego Star Wars.
Lots of well, at least we haven't finished the new Marvel with superheroes 2, I think is what it's the title of it. It's the new, essentially like Avengers-esque game from Lego. So I'll finish that one. We just finished Power Rangers, which is a real piece of garbage.
Oh, the new one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad.
That's awful.
I can't remember her name. I like her as an actress, but she's not a good Rita Repulsa.
Oh, Elizabeth Banks.
Elizabeth
Oh
Banks,
no,
yeah.
we didn't. Not the show. There was a Power Rangers side scroller game.
Oh, game.
He just finished saying that he doesn't watch movies. He plays
stupid.
video games.
So stupid.
No,
was
not
half
stupid.
there, half
That's
not
no.
there.
I know where you're going with it, but yeah, no. There was you. I don't blame you for not knowing that this game existed because it's
I did not know
What
this
did
game
it come out
existed.
on?
Xbox. I think most of the console releases. I think it came out either. It may have been a year or two ago.
It's weird. I love the SNES ones, and I didn't know anything about it.
It's a side scroller beat 'em up
That's what those were.
and does not work well.
All right.
Is it, let's see, on what platform?
Xbox One is
Mighty Morphin Power
it.
Rangers Mega Battle?
Yeah,
Nice.
Nice.
it is not nice.
So,
Not nice.
do you have
Do you
plans
get-
for playing games?
Yeah, do you get any games to yourself?
Once everybody goes to bed, maybe I'll probably play some more PUBG. I think I'm finally going to play Assassin's Creed. I still haven't played Assassin's Creed.
I got
Yeah,
This is the
This is
the
it.
side
It's-
scroll
Oh, that
Power
looks
Rangers.
terrible.
That looks like Castle Crashers, kind of.
Yeah, why would they do that?
The problem with it too, it's up to 4-player co-op, but the really shitty thing. So basically, at this point, you've now seen every enemy
was a
type
cas-
that you're going to fight,
That was a Castle Crasher level.
and
So it's just a reskinned Castle Crashers without the content?
The main thing is the controls are just real.
And where the
funky.
boys and the girls have the exact same bulge.
Well, you know,
It's feminism. That's what you get.
it's the Power Ranger suit. The bulge comes with the Power Ranger suit.
Guess though, maybe they just make the suits roomy for
It's got a
any event.
Metacritic score of 46.
I mean,
So
basically,
it's really well accepted.
the shitty part of it is if like you're trying to, you know, it's one of those 2D side games, so, but you've got to get on the same like plane with the enemies to be able to hit them, and it's very specific. So you're like, you'll be right next to them and you're like, fuck, fuck, fuck. And there's only like 6 enemy types, and at the end of every level, just like, I mean, it really takes you back to Power Rangers though, because the end of everything, it's like, let's call the Zords after the thing grows, and then you're like, you turn into the shitty Zord version where it just fires cannons and you like blast a few little circles on it, and then it's like, now let's turn into the real Zord thing, and it turns into the robot thing, and you're just like, it's just like, everybody hits, it's like a QuickTime event basically, where it's just like X, X, B. Though I will say, super impressed with my 6-year-old being able to nail those every time. He's really good at that. He's way better. When he is like hits his prime gaming age, he's going to be way better at video games than I ever was. But yeah, and that's it. You do the QuickTime event, and then it punches the thing, and it punches the thing, and then eventually it does the ultimate move and cuts it and kills it with a sword.
Why don't they just start with that?
They have to
Well,
charge
it's the
it
same.
up,
It's the
apparently.
same philosophy as like, why do bad guys send the weaklings instead of their best troops at the
Where-
very beginning?
Oh, the other
Like if the bad guys just would send like their actual elite troops to wipe you out before you can level up, everything would be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, why do they send the mini monster down? She knows she can make it grow from the beginning. Just jump straight to the big monster.
Yeah.
And can she only do that like once a week? What's the problem? Why not
Yeah,
she
she has
send
a-
like 7
She
big
has a
monsters?
Cooldown, 7-day cooldown. Till the next episode.
But the other shitty thing is sometimes you'll spawn in the level as a human. And you have to like beat a bunch of shit up. Again, very much like the series for some reason where they would just occasionally not decide to become Power Rangers for a while. But yeah, you have to like just beat up enough things to build up your energy bar, and once your energy bar is full, then you can turn into a Power Ranger. But you can't do most of your abilities as a human, including some of the attacks that are necessary to defeat various enemies.
So you just have to punch on them.
Like the bird things, the way you break their guard is you have to do like an uppercut move, but you can't do it as a human. So the only thing you do is there's the only other alternative is that you can pick them up, but as a human, you pick them up and you just like put them down, whereas as a Power Ranger, you like slam them on the ground a few times.
That's awesome.
And if you die, you lose your entire energy bar. So you have to start
Sounds
over.
like you really enjoy this game.
It's a real turd. Don't buy.
I'm hoping to play Nier Automata. I picked that up
Nice.
yesterday, and with the intention of playing that over the break.
Yeah, took soundtrack of the year at the Game Awards. Beautiful. I mean, Yoko Taro's so weird. It's great. It's great. I'm gonna finish Okami. I want to play Persona for I want to play Dancing All Night.
Oh.
Although I'm really bad with the names of the Persona dancing games because there's Dancing All Night. There's a Dancing Moon Night.
Dancing some of the night.
Yeah.
Dance the night away.
Dancing in the evening.
Dance with the devil in the pale moonlight.
But I
great one.
want to play those, and I want to play. On my list is Racketeer.
Okay.
Because that was recommended by people who said it's great and
What does this
the
game
whole
look
item
like?
shop thing.
Racketeer.
Racketeer.
Like
So-
Wreck-It Ralph, kind of, or
No,
how old is
it's
Racketeer?
RECC. I want to say. Hold on, I'm gonna do my best spelling. Okay, RECCATEAR.
Racketeer.
How close did I get?
Just trying
well, if this is correct, then you sort of close.
Sort of close.
That's the one.
I'll take it.
RECETT.
That's a 10 out of 10 on Steam. When did it come out?
What?
2007.
Yeah, it's not a new game.
Oh.
How is this
It's been
possible?
around a while, but I like the concept. I want to check it out. I haven't been playing on my PC as much lately, and I wanna rectify that.
Overwhelmingly positive. 98%.
Sounds like
Also, I
something.
still need to play Golf Story.
That's a great game. If you want to play more on your PC, that sounds like the kind of thing that's prime for a New Year's resolution.
We should talk about resolutions then. So because this is the last show of the year, by when we all come back in the studio, it's going to be 2018, a new year for games, a new year for us, a fresh start. Time to do things differently. So it's time for resolutions.
Okay.
Do you have any gaming resolutions?
Yes, I need to finish a higher percentage of games that I purchase. I can't tell you how many games I buy, and I can spend like Neo's a prime example of a game I spent. I have 55 hours of playtime in that game, and probably not that far from beating it, but I just put it down. Like I get really distracted, and I'll never come back to a game. So if I can finish, I want to say like 75% of the games that I buy, then it'll keep me from buying more games, and I think I'll get more enjoyment out of it because I definitely I feel accomplished when I beat a game. But this year, I can't even tell you I probably beat 3 games this year, maybe 4. I'm trying to think of all the games I played, but Legend
There's
of
a lot of
Zelda-
games that don't have beating status either.
Well, even just like a story mode, like Destiny, I'll count that because Destiny, Legend of Zelda. I played.
Did you not beat Horizon Zero Dawn?
I didn't even play it. I played it for like an hour or 2. That's what I'm going to play this week probably.
Have you played the DLC yet?
No, I got to play that too.
Maybe that's what I'll do on my break.
And that's all I can really think of. There's another indie game that I played and beat. There's a couple indie games, but for the most part, I'll play a game for a significant chunk of time, like Mario plus Rabbids. I got to the last world, loved it, stopped. Like it always happens. I don't know what's wrong with me, but that needs to change. Needs to change this year. So, and I especially got to stop doing it with games that I really enjoy and play dozens of hours and then just quit for no reason.
I had a thing with games, and I still have it. It's something I'm trying to change about myself, where I similarly would be really enjoying a game, and then I would stop playing it right before the end. But the reason I would do that is it's really stupid. It's one of those things where if you talk to yourself about it, you know that it's dumb, but you're still doing it. I would stop playing games because I don't want the experience to be over.
Oh, that's weird.
Because if there's a little bit left to go, then it's not over.
That's super weird.
And,
makes
it primarily happens with games that I'm really enjoying. And it's there are dozens of games just littered through my past where I've done that, and then when I finally worked up the resolve to go back and beat them, I had forgotten everything about the game.
Yeah, that's
including the combat, what I was doing, what I needed to be doing, how to play it well, and I'd play and go, and then put it down again, and then it never got finished. One of the games that I always felt was just shamefully overlooked, Kingdoms of Amalur.
I knew that's exactly what you were going to say.
Yep, I am right at the end, and several months ago I went and I picked it up and I was like, I'm finally gonna do it.
No,
Didn't
do it.
Nope.
Damn.
Nope. I don't know how to play it anymore. I got my sweet blades
What
that
are
go
you,
around
is
like
it-
this.
Aside from
and-
Kingdoms of Amalur, what are your top 3 biggest regrets that you never finished?
Oh gosh. Oh wow. Hold on. I'm gonna need a second to think about that because I got a lot of regrets. in my life.
I don't do that a lot, but I do park at the end of games a lot, thinking I want to get everything done on this character before I complete it. It happened to me in Dark Souls, where I parked for 2 years at the end with my first character, and I just ended up starting new characters rather than going and finishing all the stuff because I'm afraid like I'll miss something, especially on games where there's a new game plus and you can continue that character. Like I don't want to miss something the first time through. That's a big fear of mine. But I think the only game I've ever done what you're talking about is BioShock. I got to the very end and I was like, I'm gonna wait. I really like this game, and then I waited a year.
I have a real problem with doing that with Bethesda games. Like I've never beaten Skyrim, like the main plot line of Skyrim. I played so many hours in that game. It just got to the point where I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Because the main plot line was almost sort of ancillary to the enjoyment of that game. I also did it with Fallout 4, but that was because I looked ahead and I was like, none of these endings mean shit to me.
That was
Like,
one of the.
they just had all crap endings. So.
Fallout 4 was one that I was like, I need to force myself to beat this game, or I'll do that. And that was the only Bethesda game I've ever beaten.
And I think especially if I have a game on PC and I'm playing it on PC, where it's like with Xbox, I might forge on through because it's like, well, there'll be an achievement at the end of it, and it's just like, even though that's a tiny, tiny little
carrot.
Yeah, I don't care that much, but just enough to be like, scratch that little like completionist itch. But on PC, it's like,
Yeah.
I don't need to power through this for any reason.
I don't think I've ever done that. I don't think I've ever set aside a game. Like if I'm close, I'm just going to finish it.
No,
Really?
I've got a
That's a
couple. I've got.
superpower.
I'm just like looking at some of the more recent games in my library. Hyper Light Drifter.
Okay.
I got like almost and was like,
The game's hard.
put that back. Where is it? Transistor
Really.
as
Oh,
well.
you never finished that?
No, I was enjoying it so much. I don't want it to be
It's got
done.
a great-
I don't want it to be done.
You should finish it.
I know, but now
Gus is so
I did go
disappointed
back
about
and
games.
start playing
'Cause I
it
can't-
again, and I was like, I completely forgot because the way that game works with you like augmenting abilities with like different abilities, and it all completely changes how it functions. I forgot all the fine details of that. I know I'm disappointed with myself too. I know. I'm sorry, Gus.
That
I let us down.
That game's so.
He's
It's,
disappointed.
did anyone else finish it? Did you guys ever finish it or play that?
I played half of it.
I mean, it's been a couple of years, so small transistor spoiler if you care. The ending ties in very nicely to the beginning. It all becomes very circular, and you realize.
I tell you what, I will commit to finishing it over break.
You should.
Okay.
It's really good.
I'm trying to see like what else do I have on here.
I also never beat Black Flag.
Oh, that game's so fucking good.
I know, I played a lot of it, and I think it was one of those things where what comes up a lot for us is you will have to play a game for like
Yeah.
Glitch Please, or for at that time it was Game Club, or for work, like I have to start playing Grinded Destiny or something, because I didn't play Black Flag till way after it came out. So something else just came up and just took me away from it, and then it's hard to re-enter the Assassin's Creed worlds because there's so much going on.
Yeah.
Same thing with Syndicate. I haven't beaten Syndicate yet, and that was a pretty decent Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through a lot of games here. This actually relates to my resolution. And it's related to your resolution, but I'm approaching it from the other direction, which is I'm going to not buy games until I'm ready to play the game. I have been fortunate enough where like I can buy a bunch of stuff on a Steam sale and be like, I want to play this. I do. I'm going to pick it up while it's 40% off. But I don't have to do that. And I'm going to try and stop doing that because I just end up with this huge list of games that is great, and I know it's great, and I want to play these games, but I don't end up playing. And so I'm going to try to hold myself back, rein myself in a little bit, and buy the game when I'm ready to sit down and actually play it. And not buy anything predictably. Because it's financially not sound. It's like it's silly. On the one hand, I've supported all these
But
developers.
it's on sale.
Yes, I know it's that mentality, right? But I want to maybe that way get it to the point where I buy a game, I play a game, I finish the game, and I play another game.
Move on.
Yeah, I feel like I get a little bit scattered. It's between stopping playing a game that I'm enjoying and buying all these games. So like there are so many options, but I'm not focusing properly. I want to get past that. I feel like I can be a better gamer if I can just fix my brain and the way I do things.
I think for me, I want to play more games on the PC and less games on console. I think 2017 has been a year where that has started for me, and I play a lot more on PC. And I was looking, Xbox has that year in review that you can look at, and I only played 201 hours of games on the Xbox platform this year, which I don't think is that much. It says the.
Oh God, where do you look at that number?
I'll send you a link. The average hours played in this region is 219 hours. So I'm even below average, but I want to move that even more to PC. I just sent you a Slack with that link.
This is
How
gonna
much
be
would you say you play games?
I play games I don't play as much as I want to. I probably play an hour every day, maybe 2. Then at minimum. Then some days, like on the weekends, I'll ramp up and play a lot more.
I feel like my game time has become more and more limited, and I need it's not my resolution to change that, but I need to play more too.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch too much TV and movies.
Yeah.
There's other stuff that distracts me.
Too much
like
content.
recreation. Yeah.
Hobby-wise,
Yeah.
difficult.
I get really bingey where I'll go through a phase where I'll spend 100 hours playing one game over the course of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm barely sleeping. And I'm coming to work, I'm doing that, I'm going home, I'm playing this game until I go to bed. And then I get up and do it all again the next day. And it's very, very bingey. I have trouble stopping myself in the middle of something where I'm like, yeah, right up until I completely stop myself. But then maybe the next week, I will play nothing of games. I will read 3 books. I go very, very bingey. In fact, I was just, I've been balancing that slightly better. I just reread all of the books that are out from Brandon Sanderson in the Stormlight Archive because
those are good.
Oathbringer came out. I started reading Oathbringer, which is the 3rd book in the series. They're all very meaty books.
Yeah, they're
I
like
got
1,000 pages each.
Yeah, I got 5 pages into it and was like, and went and started back at the beginning because I had read through them. And they're great rides. You can just read and read and read. And the world is really unique and well built out. And the characters are all very engaging. And that you can just read all the way through and you never get bored. And so I did that. I binged all the way back through 1 and 2 and then read Oathbringer. And they're commitments. So I was having to mentally pull myself back from spending all my time just reading those books and actually play some games too. Mix it up a little bit. Watch a Christmas movie.
Reading's good for you, though. That's good.
I do like reading. I really enjoy reading.
All right, so this year I had 7,430 gamer score.
It's pretty low.
That's pretty low. My most played game was Rainbow Six Siege, that's pretty surprising because GTA 5 is number 2, GTA 5 is number 2, Destiny 2 is number 3, Lego Marvel's number 4. That's entirely because of Eli. I had 356 total achievements, and I'm in the top 2% of gamer score and achievements, top 8% of hours played.
Wait, top 2% lifetime or was
it's
getting
for the-
7,000 top 2% for the year?
For the year. My total hours played, and again, remember, I'm in the top 8% of people played, so that means there's a significant number of people above this.
Yes.
859 hours.
Dude, that is 35 days of game time.
Now remember,
Did you just do that math in your head
No, while he was doing this, I punched it in
he
his
saw it. Now that is
You should have said you did.
spread across multiple, times when I probably left it just on. I don't know how it
That's
counts.
but that doesn't include PC game time.
Does not.
Just Xbox alone. That's 10% of your life
And
this year has been video games.
it doesn't include
That's
all the
awesome.
time I played
On Xbox.
Zero Dawn.
Jealous.
PUBG.
PUBG is PC.
Man, I am genuinely jealous of that.
That's what I did. A lot of that's work.
My
That's-
most played game
Great.
was Mass Effect Andromeda.
Oh,
Oh.
Ouch, dude. Who are you anymore?
Yeah.
that is.
I told you I finished it.
Yeah, no,
How
I
many
know.
hours did that
I know,
take?
but
It doesn't break it down that
That
much.
really sinks in a bit. Then number 2, Stardew Valley.
Good for you. Good for you in that Stardew.
Man, did you see they were teasing the new Stardew content some more? Mm-hmm. They're gonna add in respecking, which is pretty cool because if you, as you develop through Stardew Valley, say you build your farming level up. At some point, you get a choice. Do you want to be better? Do you want to be more efficient with crops, or do you want to be more efficient with animals? And then you get another fork later on. Do you want to get your your bird products, do you want them to be worth more, or do you want to get more money from wool? You know,
Okay.
I don't remember the exact things, but basically there are these forking development paths, and there are a couple of them that they seem like a good idea at the time, but late game are absolutely worthless. So I made 1 or 2 bad decisions, and I'm really looking forward to fixing them.
Not being stuck with them forever.
Yeah. And then they're also teasing, like, I don't know, new underwater something or other.
We'll
Maybe
see.
a submarine, who knows, but I'm excited about that. Good game to spend a lot of time in, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super great game. Love that game.
Did you have a resolution?
I haven't said it yet. My resolution is to go back and really dig back into VR content. Like I walked away from it a lot. But now with all the new technologies coming out, I'm really going to try and recommit to playing a lot of games. I've got a lot of games in VR that I've just never touched.
I sort of fell off that train too, and I'm kind of wondering what's come out in the past year that's really noteworthy.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
I
that's
played-
what I'm going to find out.
Like probably the last big chunk of VR I played was Arizona Sunshine, which is probably a year at this point.
It's a great game, and the wireless adapter does make the device feel more comfortable and lighter. Like it's way you wouldn't
You're
think
not being
the weight
pulled,
of the weight of the cable is noticeable.
I don't
when you remove
doubt
it.
you. I don't think it's something I'm going to spend $300 on. I think I'll.
Can you come try it out in my office?
You
Yeah,
can
I'll
try it
definitely
out.
try it out.
I bought one. I picked it up just because it's anything to make it more or less physically unpleasant to play is worth it to me.
Nothing about that will change the amount that I sweat in that thing, though. Like
You say that, but it
in terms of on
actually
my
does
face.
a little bit.
Well,
does
if
a bit.
if it can reduce the weight, then
Yeah.
it might reduce how much it's
You don't understand.
pressing down
I've
on
seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Gilby is a
You're a sweat
bad.
monster?
Oh my God, dude! I sweat in like, if it's freezing outside, I'll just be sweating for no reason. It sucks. Like,
I'm the opposite. Bring on like
non-sweater.
90 degrees, and I'm like, yes.
I mean, if I put a Vive on for like 5 minutes,
It's soaked.
like the first 20 minutes of Vive play for me,
Does
I'm
it
doing.
fog up inside?
That's the thing. Is the first 20 minutes, I'm doing that thing where I'm like wiping off the lens every. It's really shitty to get into for me
Isn't there
because
an anti-fog coating or like spray?
those things never work, and I don't want to
okay.
ruin my.
Just
my
do what they
lenses.
do with like snorkel mask and just.
Yeah,
There
spit
you
on
go,
it.
spit in it.
Or they
Especially
think
the
they
work
use,
one.
I think they also use baby shampoo, something. There's got to be something that can fix that, right?
But on top of that, it's like anytime that thing's on me, it's like a ring of sweat and grossness. It's rough. It's definitely rough. One time I was in it for too long and I took it off and there was like black foam that had deteriorated on my face.
I had to replace one of the foam headsets on that I have because after you used
Burn
it.
through. Oh, because of me? Yeah. Oh my God. So offended.
That's why I was like, no, I understand. I've seen it.
I guess I won't try yours out.
No,
It's got leather.
now. It's
It's
like
got
leather
leather.
now.
Nice.
That's why I got it.
Leather. Yeah.
Oh no! I can't believe I forgot to bring it this morning. My other resolution is not gaming related, but I want to work on a new scale project. I finished my first scale
I was
project.
about to bring that up. It looks awesome.
I was gonna bring it to talk on last
you
week's
tweet
episode
about
that we
it or
recorded
something?
like an hour ago. Yeah, hold on, let me show you a picture. I'm gonna send it to broadcast
send it
because
to
I'm
broadcast.
really proud of this.
It looks great.
But that's my other thing is not gaming related, but it's very nerdy. Is I want to make a scale mail like shoulder thing with a choker attachment.
Look
There
at
we go.
that. That's
there
awesome.
we go.
No, that's
Yay!
That's pretty cool.
So I had to learn both scale
that's
knitting,
scale mail
which
and
is
chain
different,
mail.
and a European 4-in-1 knit for that. And like I'm having to like find jewelry fastenings. Turns out, by the way, it's really hard to do a jewelry clasp with one hand, so I'm having to get like magnetic things. And I've learned a lot. And I think my next one's gonna be way better. I'm gonna do it in champagne color.
That's awesome, man.
So hopefully, since I failed so terribly to bring this in, I'm so sorry. Mostly I'm sorry to myself because I really wanted to show it off because even though
In
it's
the new
really
year.
amateur, I was really proud of it. But maybe for the first episode of the new year, I will have a completed scale project that I can bring in and actually remember. God damn it, I'm so mad at myself. Sorry, what was being said? You know, you get that revelation. You're like,
Yeah.
oh my God!
Your
I
brain.
completely broke in and disrupted all conversation. I apologize.
No, it's fine.
I apologize.
We were just talking
Talk
about how VR is sweaty,
Sweaty VR.
Me sweaty, VR sweaty. Terrible.
but fun.
It is fun.
God, super hot VR is so fun.
I don't have it.
You should play it.
Is it still only? Is it
No.
on Vive now?
Yes.
Have you played Thumper?
No.
Worth it.
Yeah, that game seems really
Thumper?
intense.
Thumper,
in
yeah,
terms
it's,
of audio.
You remember before Harmonix was doing?
What just happened?
Are you? I
That
think
sneeze?
he's about to
I'm okay.
sneeze. You gonna sneeze?
Pulling it back. We're good.
Wow.
Had to-
Before they were doing the Rock Band games, they had frequency and amplitude where
Yeah.
you're running along this track and you switch tracks and do the buttons and they're handling all the different instruments. So think of it in that vein where you're on a track and the different actions you take affect the sound, but it's things like turning, like you'll bank to the left or bank to the right, or you'll hit something as you go across it. And so it's musical in that regard. But imagine one of those experiences in VR. It's intense.
Isn't it also combat? Like they call it musical combat?
Yes. Yeah. It's rhythm based, but it's really cool. Highly recommend it. We've been playing it via PSVR, which is Bernie's new favorite, mostly because it's super easy. It's like once we got it set up, it's don't even need to worry about it. With the one really annoying exception that we're having trouble getting the Move controllers to charge. You can't plug them into a USB plug in the wall.
They need a brain.
We seem to have to be plugging them into the PS4.
Yep.
They won't charge without it, which is very weird. Very, very weird.
They have to be talking to the PS4, or I think they need something that has a CPU in it. They need some computer.
Regardless, I disapprove, and that's very serious.
Also, those
You can
things
get a
matter.
little display stand here that you can plug
charging
your
stand.
you can hang your headset on. You can charge.
Well, maybe we'll do that because right now, like our PS4 is concealed. So
Oh,
having to
nice.
keep a bunch of stuff in there. It's already messy with the VR headset. So having to plug a bunch of cables and have it all feed out through the hole is really silly. So not a fan of that. But other than that, the PlayStation VR is everyone in the family is finding it the most comfortable, very convenient. And it's nice to just sit down, and then play, as opposed to needing to set up the entire other room for the Vive. But we might actually try out that wireless solution and see if that makes the Vive.
Well, that's kind of what I'm interested to experiment with. Is right now I'm kind of limited to having to be right next to my computer, which the range is not great. So you still have to be pretty close, but that could easily mean that the computer can have a permanent setup somewhere, and then you can just take your wireless setup. You still have to have the lighthouses, but those are.
See that's the only thing is that I can't leave my Vive set up because my cat will chew all the cables. I came back and one of them was chewed through.
Have you considered
Use like some little
taping your cat's mouth shut?
No.
What if you get a cute little cat muzzle?
use some little cable trays.
I'm sure that's a reasonable
Hannibal
solution.
Lecter-esque
He
thing.
doesn't nothing.
Little tiny ball gag.
And anytime we try to prevent him from doing something, he'll want to do it more. So there's nothing to stop him. He was chewing on the corners of my presents under my tree. So I took a little bit of hot sauce, like Cholula, on a paper towel, and I dabbed all the corners so that he wouldn't, if he got a taste of it, he'd be like, ah! All of them are chewed now. He likes hot sauce.
Be like you.
It's terrible.
Have you tried putting double-sided tape on the corners?
He loves tape. He loves chewing on it.
Whoa.
What?
He loves anything.
Oh, it's a Bengal, right?
It's a Bengal.
Time to go aluminum
Demon
foil.
cat. You also can't spray water on them
Yeah,
to tell
no.
them no.
Yeah. No, he's if he does something that you don't like and you give him any form of attention, positive or negative, he'll do it more. So
Yeah, Bengals are a special
you're
kind
boned.
of cat.
yeah, I'm currently.
That's I've always wanted one.
You shouldn't. I'm currently in the process of trying to leash train him. He's harness trained, but leash training is something that he's very scared of the leash. He thinks it's a snake. So turns on Tasmanian devil.
All right, do we have any other resolutions?
No, just more PC gaming. PC Master Race.
Yep.
I converted.
Not buying games until I actually am ready to play them.
It's on you, Gilby.
There's a natural
we're
progression there.
summary.
Yeah, we're reaffirming.
Reaffirming. I want to finish more of them games.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
VR. Gonna recommit to VR. Gonna have a ceremony and everything.
I'm feeling really good about where we are going as gaming humans in
hope-
this next year.
I hope I can make it happen, man. I feel like adulting is hard, and
Adulting is hard.
weekends are not just sit down and play 10 hours of video games. It's wake up, Go do stuff.
Do chores.
Yeah.
When do you
Clean
have
up.
kids?
Go shop. I'm not gonna have
Oh.
kids. It's too much already.
It is. It's so much more.
Go do errands. Errands in Austin take 3 hours because
They
of
do.
traffic.
They really do.
That's a huge chunk of the day gone. Then by the time I get home, it's like I have like a couple hours till I have to cook dinner. This is hard. Life's hard.
Well,
And then you die.
look, you guys, we're being optimistic right now.
Yes. No, I'm gonna do it.
We're heading into 2018 on a high note. We have resolutions that are going to make us better, and we're going to acknowledge some of the best of 2017.
All right.
All right, you guys want to talk about we're going to do, I don't have a name for the glitchies for good, but let's talk about good games. Oh yeah, that's right, R.I.P. good game. It's screenplay now, it's.
No.
So last episode, we talked about some of the worst games of 2017. So there were either like the big flops, the worst microtransactions, big disappointments with the overhyping. But it's not all bad. There's really great games
There were a lot
that have
of
come
great
out
games.
as well. So many games that it's actually really difficult to boil it down. And I always feel a little bit bad about Game of the Year because when you go like, this was the one best game of the year, so many games are so different and everyone wants something different out of games. It can be hard to come to a consensus and say this one is objectively better than anything else ever. So what I'd like us to do is talk about our personal games of the year. What engaged you the most? What was your best gaming experience and why? It's a very personal thing. But at the very least, maybe we can come away with very strong recommendations for people with similar play styles who may have given your Game of the Year a skip. Cool?
Yep.
Cool. Gus.
I had many games that I loved this year.
Many.
But I think the game I would have to pick for me personally, and I don't think it would be for everyone, is PUBG.
Well, it is officially out. It hit 1.0, so
Yeah.
you are good. It came out in 2017.
But I don't think it's like the best. Obviously, there's no narrative, right? Like there was narrative games that I loved this year.
Well,
but
there's a narrative every match.
yes,
And you like that over Horizon?
it's the game I've invested the most time in. Like Horizon is why I'm torn. Like if my other choice would be Horizon because the narrative was so strong, but I've spent way more time in PUBG. Like thinking about it nonstop when did I pick? I bought it in May. So for like 7 months now.
How many hours do
crazy.
you have clocked?
It's like a little. I've played more PUBG than I've played Xbox total in the year. It's over 200 hours.
That's not that surprising, but I think you've got to have more than 200 hours in PUBG, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I've played more time of Battlegrounds. And on the flip side, talking about Horizon, it's the only PlayStation game I've ever platinumed. Because that's how much I loved that game. So I'm really split between those two. But I would have to pick PUBG. It's definitely the game that I spent the most time in, and I've loved it.
What is it about PUBG that sets it above and apart from any other battle royale experience or
Fortnite,
multiplayer? Yeah, there's Fortnite, which is out, is available and
Free.
it's free. And the distinguishing mechanic of Fortnite is that because it's Fortnite, they also have a building mechanic in their battle royale. But PUBG is the evolution of Brendan Green's vision.
It's just I think for me, it's like the escalation in the tension throughout the match. Like, and then every match can be a little different, right? Like you start and you're like, all right, this match I'm just gonna fuck around, I'm gonna do these things. And then like things start working or, you start finding things you need. And then, by the end of the match, I'll be sweating, when you're down to like the top 10, like worried about like how you're gonna do. And I've never experienced that level of stress and excitement in a video game before.
That's why I can't play it. I'm already studying up.
But yeah, the first time I got in the top 10, I thought my heart was going to be beat out of my chest. And just like the learning curve, like it seems like it's all very simple, very easy on the surface. And then as you play more and more, you're like, oh, you start to read like what different things mean. Like, why is there a gun here but no ammo? Or why is the door opened out and not in? Or, like all these little things. And in the early days, it was, in the early access days, the cars always spawned in a certain direction. Like, why is the car not facing the right direction?
Right, it means that someone has brought this car here, or
Right.
someone has been here before.
Yeah, or what are the sounds that you hear? Oh, that's a specific gun. It's firing in this direction, or not in this direction.
What do you think it is about those type of games that really bring out the stress in like the stress and adrenaline while playing them? Because I had this I only played a little bit of PUBG, but I had similar experience where I got to the number 4 and I was like, I'm gonna die. Like I can't do this.
Yeah, like in my head, I have to tell myself like, I earned it. I'm here. I'm just as good as these other people. There's no like you have to like calm yourself down and
You have to, like, give yourself pep talks?
reassure yourself. Like I've killed plenty of people.
But what is it? Like you've already played dozens of competitive multiplayer games, maybe ones that are all free for all. Like what is it?
It's like seeing the goal, like having it within reach, and it's not like it's a huge time. But I mean, it's a time investment, right? Like 30 minutes maybe for a full match. But you want to make sure that like that time pays off.
Yeah.
Do you feel, because this is the game where you go in with nothing, you're all on equal footing, but you have to scavenge, you have to see what you can find. And then that determines really how you have to play for the rest of the match. Does any of that feel luck-based as you're doing it?
It's luck-based as
Or-
hell. Yeah.
okay.
I mean, you have to have good jobs. You have to find certain things. You can mitigate that with skill, but ultimately luck will help you quite a bit.
Does that help you when you, if you are not getting a great round, you didn't get a level 3 helmet, you didn't get the things you need, and then you die and you're like, oh, whatever, I got crap stuff anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, there's also a flip side to that, because I've definitely won chicken dinners where it's like, I didn't find anything but melee weapons the first 5 minutes of a game. And then it's like, you just through your luck changing.
Persistence
Yeah.
and...
You don't give up right away. It's
Yeah.
like you keep working at it, and you're like, okay, well, I found a pistol. I'm going to use that now. And then you like work your way up, and you can still turn it around. You're never really out until
Until you're out.
until you're out.
Until
Yeah.
someone shoots you.
For me, it's probably not going to be a huge surprise to anyone, but it's Persona 5.
I don't know. Any of these will be surprises. But
Yeah, a couple episodes ago when we were talking about the Game Awards nominees, I was weighing up what I would recommend as far as like a game of the year, and I passed up on Persona 5 at the time because I was trying to think of what would appeal to the most people, because I realized that Persona has a bit more of a niche appeal. But because this is my personal award, this is the game that I engaged with the most heavily the year. I loved Breath of the Wild. I loved Horizon. I loved Stardew Valley out on Switch. I loved a lot of experiences, but Persona 5 hit me like a freight train. And part of that may be that I had not played a Persona game before, so I didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't know what the series staples were. It was all this really insane new experience for me. And it did take a little while to get going. At first, I was a schoolboy being framed by some douchebag for saving a lady and being shipped off to, I don't know, some person who's going to take care of me, but clearly didn't want me around, and I was going to just live above his shop, whatever. And I was thrown a little off kilter by the story setup. But then it gets going, and you start to get into the metaverse, and it gets... like the momentum picks up, and from there, I was just completely lost. I was, again, barely sleeping. I wasn't playing anything else. I was just hoping for excuses to leave early from work so I could go home and just play that game more. And it was a great experience for me. I love turn-based JRPGs, and I've been sad to some degree to see the Final Fantasy franchise, which is one of my favorites, go more in the direction of action. And so going back, being turn-based, having class-based, and the persona that you have changes your abilities, and I was like, oh my God, it's like the Dressphere system except weird. All of that stuff I really, really loved. And the art style, the soundtrack. There was nothing about it that I could point out and say, this is bad. I can see why some people would lose patience with the switching between the combat of the metaverse and the going to school and managing your day-to-day life and building relationships. I can see why people wouldn't dig that, but I loved it. So for me, runaway of the year. It got me so into the Persona series that I immediately went and played Persona 4 Golden. I picked up a Vita so that I could play it, and I don't regret
And no one should have to touch a Vita for any reason.
Actually, you know what? From a hardware perspective, the Vita is really great. It just didn't get support, and the memory card cost was really stupid.
Yeah.
I wonder if that one factor killed it. Because they're extraordinarily expensive. I don't know if they've gotten more expensive over time or if that's just held, but it's stupid.
Yeah.
all because it's basically an SD card with a slot in it. So stupid. But Persona 5 for me, hands down. I can't say enough good things about it. I saw on Twitter that Miles is trying it again.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
He's one of those. He's very action based. He has a short attention span, so he likes a lot of things happening very quickly and with a lot of spectacle. I don't know if he's going to be able to stick with Persona because it does start as a bit of a slow burn, and he may not like turn-based combat. And if that's the case,
Not for you.
not for you, and that's fine. But I loved everything about it.
Yeah, I don't think I quite got to the point in that game where it got out of the tutorial mode. Like I was doing I think I got to the first time where it's like you have 2 weeks or something to prepare for this battle, and that's where I stopped. I think I should give it another shot because I love the theme and I love the gameplay and everything like that. Like it does capture like Japan and Japanese anime like really well, and I kind of want to see more of it. But
Yeah, once you get into that first palace, the pace picks up.
yeah,
And you do, now that you've got like this deadline, it gives you a sense of urgency to get the most out of every day and to plan appropriately and build everything up to a point that you can do it by the deadline. And I get that sense of impending doom as every day ticks over and I get one fewer days to try and get through it.
Yeah.
Maybe that gives me the sense of urgency enough, whereas as opposed to Miles is more like immediate action. So I'm not sure, but I love it. Give it a try.
Yeah.
For me.
probably will.
Thanks.
What's your favorite game?
It's kind of tough. It's probably Breath of the Wild. I don't think much else has come out this year that, especially in terms of playtime, that has come close. Revisiting Neo made me realize how much I really like that game, but because I never beat it, I can't really say that was my favorite. Breath of the Wild might be my favorite game in since Dark Souls, like in years.
And that's saying something.
High praise.
'Cause you really like Dark Souls.
It is, and having played the DLC over the past couple of weeks, I can definitely recognize a lot more flaws with it. But just as an open world game to be so fresh in terms of being able to climb on anything, being able to feel a sense of adventure as you go through it. Like even now, going back, I was like, I'm just gonna walk over there and see what's on top of this thing. And I walked on top of a mountain I'd never climbed before, and sure enough, found a Korok. I was like, how did I never find this? And I glided for an hour down off the mountain. It was so much fun. It feels so like such an adventure. And going through that reminded me how when you're beating a shrine, you don't have to beat it by the rules. Like you can be creative with the physics and the tools they give you.
Abuse it.
Yeah,
They like it.
It's great. Like you can put a bomb under this platform and then launch yourself way too high, and then be able to get to wherever you want instead of following whatever the confusing puzzle was, which is good and bad. But I mean, there's so much to it. There's so much game there. The only part that I found disappointing was the Divine Beasts. The dungeons did not feel the greatest, but. Visiting all the towns had I felt like they had their own specific flavor. The desert felt like a really fun open desert. Getting to ride around on seals, every area felt like you were doing something unique, and it felt really loved and cared for. And
It felt handcrafted.
yeah, and
Because it was.
Artisanal.
and I
Artisanal.
didn't have any problem jumping back into it for the DLC for 25 hours, and I loved it. So that's definitely gonna be Breath of the Wild for me.
Cool. Well, you skipped over it, but I'll show it some love. Zero Dawn, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was
Great game.
As much as I love PUBG, it took me to an interesting world that I was really engaged in. It was a place that I wanted to. There was a mystery running through it that I wanted to understand what had happened and how things had come to be as they were. And it was nicely paced to kind of let that story unfold. Had a lot of just your collector crap that you could invest in, felt like it, but it wasn't really necessary in any way to do. And it set up a lot of hope for me that there'll be future games in that series that I can go back and enjoy it again.
The narrative was told so well. Normally, I'll listen to some audio logs, and it's not a big priority, but I felt like all the audio logs in that game were so riveting. I wanted to hear all of it, especially when you get to the Grave Horde, where it's these soldiers have left audio logs, or they're making their last stand. They know that the machines are gonna win. It's they're trying to be jovial and keep their spirits up, and then you hear the progression. It's oh, the battle has started. We're losing. There's no way none of us are gonna make it out of this alive. It's all that didn't happen, and in the game it happened who knows, an undetermined amount of time in the past, but it's still really compelling.
And you can, as you're walking through the scene of that battle too, so you're seeing the aftermath as they're telling you the story of what happened. But I mean, that's a huge part of it. But also the stuff that happens in real time is also really, really interesting. And I mean, giant robot dinosaurs. I like the technology of it. The inventory management was complete shambles.
Yeah, that's the worst part of the game.
The weapon management was awful.
There were some weapons I never used. I was like, that's a pain in the ass. I don't
Yeah.
want to do that.
Yeah, a lot of how you went about unlocking some of them was occasionally kind of annoying. But aside from that, though, it was just such a strong title. And I'm looking forward to playing the DLC.
Okay, I was gonna say, did you play the Frozen
Haven't yet.
Wilds? But
I'm going to.
cool.
It's an amazing game.
That's
I tell
probably-
everyone that it is worth getting a PS4 for Horizon Zero Dawn.
That's probably the one that I'll play over this break. I wanna get back into it.
So good.
Yeah, it's also, I think, especially admirable because it's such a departure from what the developers have done before.
It was gorgeous.
And it didn't feel like a first attempt at the genre. It felt like a veteran effort.
Absolutely.
Which says a lot because those games, they made it look easy to be like that masterful, but it's not. There are a lot of games that try something and like that and fail, and they did such a great job.
I'm looking forward to, hopefully, like you said, they revisit this and have future games. I'm looking forward to seeing how they refine that inventory management and how they grow from this. Because hopefully it can only get better.
All I ask is that they don't do what they did with Dragon Age and just dumb down the inventory system to a stupid level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, so we've got some resolutions. We have our favorite games of the year. It's a good note to end on.
Yes.
I think that 2018 is going to be a pretty awesome year. We've got a lot of highly anticipated games coming out. I'm excited for God of War. I'm excited to at least learn more about Last of Us 2. I don't know if we're actually going to get
Fingers crossed, maybe.
Yeah. Red Dead Redemption 2. Far Cry. There's so much. You've got a list right
Yeah,
there.
I'm looking here.
Days Gone,
A
Sea of
Way
Thieves.
Out. Yeah, Anthem's listed there. I don't think that's coming out in 2018.
Unlikely. Spider-Man.
Yeah, State of Decay 2.
Kingdom Hearts 3. Just kidding. That's not good.
I'm interested in Detroit Become Human.
Yeah.
Crackdown, I'm curious to see what they do with it.
Metal Gear
Darkseid.
Survive. Everyone's looking forward to that.
New Darksiders, Ni no Kuni 2. There's a lot
Kuni 2.
of
Game was
very
cute.
promising stuff for 2018. I have my fingers crossed it'll be a good year, that loot boxes will become a thing of the past and die away. Maybe, look, we can all be hopeful.
Yes.
And and that this, I thought, 2017, in terms of overall lineup, really felt like such a strong year, one of the strongest in recent memory, in spite of some of the missteps that a couple of major franchises made. But 2018 could blow us all away.
I hope so.
So fingers crossed for that one. All right, that is it for this episode and this year in Glitch Please.
Happy New Year.
So we'll be back in 2018 with more episodes, more games, and hopefully we'll stick to those resolutions of ours. If you're a Rooster Teeth First member, please check out a New Game Plus exclusively on the website where we answer a bunch of your questions and we talk about the topics that you tell us you want to hear from us about. If you are listening to this episode on a podcast service, please leave the show a review so that other people can find it and enjoy it as well. If you are watching this, give us a nice old thumbs up and let us know in the comments what game was your personal game of the year. It doesn't have to be the best game from any particular standpoint, just what engaged you the most. And also, if you have any resolutions to become a better gamer in 2018. And then we will see you all next year to talk about it. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.